Inside that box, there's a machine that just a few years ago would have been impossible. It's a monster in a mini format, with revolutionary hardware that's attracting the attention of the whole world. And the thing is, the new advanced micro devices, Strix Halo chips, in this case the advanced micro devices Ryzen Max Plus 365, have been a real game changer. Regarding power, in a compact form, you get up to 128 gigabytes of RAM and GPU performance, like a GeForce RTX 4070. Something unthinkable not long ago. Certainly, this new Bosgame M5 is an unprecedented beast in a very compact size and with an absolutely luxurious design. It's built to keep the beast inside well cooled. Later, you'll see it can run current AAA games, and I assure you, you'll be amazed. But for now, you're already watching the unboxing of this Bosgame M5, which is probably the mini PC of the year. I also like that it includes this luxurious aluminum structure and that rubber that sticks to any surface, so you can set it up vertically, just like a console, for example, a PlayStation 5. Here it is in all its glory, the Bosgame M5 Mini PC. It weighs just over 1.3 kilos and is entirely metal. It looks spectacular with its slots and vents, almost like a spaceship. You'll see more soon. And there are the advanced micro devices stickers. And without a doubt, those nomenclatures have meant an absolute revolution in the world of computing. And you're also seeing that logo with the metallic pattern of this Bosgame M5. And there you have the outlets for the two fans, which are actually quite powerful. And later you'll see that they don't make that much noise. And you can already see those shapes that look more like wings, with those edges, which honestly give it a very futuristic look. And, well, the back part has this small metal door, as you'll see later, because you can put in an SSD. And also, I like that it has that rubber finish to keep it from moving on the surface. And also, the design isn't just about looks, which is nice to see, but there's a reason for it when it comes to cooling. You'll see it later. Let's move to the ports. 3.5 audio jack, 2 USB-A, 3.2 ports at 10 gigahertz, a USB 4.0, a digital card slot, and a mode switch. Choose among balance, silent, or extreme mode, where fans run at maximum. And in addition, the power button, which has a small white LED, and I love it because it's extremely well ventilated. Air flows from all directions here, showing their attention to detail. On the back, it features 2 USB-A 2.0 ports, 1 HDMI 2.1, and a display port supporting up to 8K at 60 Hz, besides another USB-C 4.0. It also has a USB-A 3.2, a 2.5 gigabytes per second LAN port, audio jack, and charging port. So, as you can see, it's more than well equipped with ports. But anyway, let's put it together and test it properly. Check out this structure. And as I said before, I like that you don't need to buy it separately. It looks high quality, and I like that it can be placed horizontally or vertically. And thanks to those rubber pads, which are small details that always matter in the long run, it doesn't slide easily. Therefore, you can place it on any surface. This is how it would look standing up. It truly adds a futuristic touch to any room. And now I'm going to turn it on. Notice that the white LED on this yellow power button is very dim. However, what you're really going to see much more intensely are those RGB lights, which can be customized using the touch button right above it. It has several modes, various transitions, and of course, if you don't like the RGB lights, you can also turn them off. And before we move on to the game test, let's see how it works in daily use. Because it's true that it's a mini PC that can be geared towards gaming, but also work. You can see our desk where I usually work, how it turns on in real time. The truth is that it takes very little time to start up, and that's a good indicator of what's inside, which, I insist, is an absolute beast. Just a few years ago, it was unthinkable in this size. All right, let's stop chatting and get to what's inside. It's the award-winning Ryzen Max Plus 395, which can go up to 5.1 gigahertz. There are also two versions, one with 96 gigabytes of RAM and another with 128 gigabytes of RAM LPDDR5X. And this beast of a processor features 16 cores, 32 threads, 64 megabytes of L3 cache, and its TDP can be set from 45 to 120 watts. I'll show you some performance tests of this version, the one with 96 gigs of RAM. I'll also show you a screenshot of the 128 gigabytes version's performance data. If you want to read it carefully, just pause the video. To summarize this technical section, I'll put the link in the video description if you want to learn more. This mini PC Bosgame M5 is the most powerful mini PC I've ever tested in the history of this channel. I've already tested several, but there are even more. I've used this mini PC for weeks and worked with it. I've worked with Adobe Premiere to edit videos and export them. And both the noise level, the power, and the speed have exceeded my expectations. In fact, it's more powerful than my usual computer, which has an Apple chip, the M1 Pro, but this mini PC does everything much faster, much better. I admit that it's been a long time since I had so much fun with one of these devices, and I think AMD has really made a big statement here. But as you can see, you can also add an extra SSD. Just look at how well it's made, this Bosgame M5. The cover itself includes thermal material, and it's also hollow inside to improve cooling. These details are appreciated, and as you can see, you can add another SSD of up to 2 terabytes. And by the way, it already comes with this one you're seeing here, also 2 terabytes. And now the time has come to put this advanced micro devices mini beast to the test, and honestly, I'm not surprised that the advanced micro devices Strix Halo nomenclature has caused such a stir in the international gaming community. And here I'm going to show you with this Bosgame M5 Mini PC. Of the 2 games I tested, this one is less demanding. This is Howard's Legacy, and you're seeing the lowest settings where everything runs smoothly. This would be the default configuration of all the mini PCs I've tested so far, but this isn't just any mini PC. This is a revolution, so I'm going to set it to its highest configuration, that is the Ultra setting. And by the way, listen up. This is how its fan would sound at maximum. And now it's really running this Howard's all on Ultra, and you can see that it works incredibly well. Everything runs very smoothly. I'll show you some scores in different games that the mini PC Bosgame M5 can achieve, just so you get an idea of how much this beast has broken the rules of the game. And now let's get to the real icing on the cake. This Final Fantasy XVI was released not too long ago, and at least on PC, when I recorded this video, it wasn't very well optimized, so it was pretty hard to run on any PC, not just this one. You're seeing it on the lowest settings. Even so, it still looks good and smooth, right? But anyway, what would happen if in this game, which is an absolute stress test for consoles and PCs, I set everything to Ultra? I admit that I was the most skeptical. I thought it wouldn't be able to run it, or at least that it would get way too hot. But neither of those things happened. In fact, I'm going to jump straight into a battle, which is where it uses the most resources. And you see there how fast everything looks on Ultra. It's absolutely insane how they've managed to pack so much power into something so small. Everything's very smooth. Therefore, if you want a mini PC to play the best games at very respectable frames per second, all on Ultra settings, besides on this monitor where I'm running it, which is a 2K monitor at 120 Hertz, this mini PC could be an option you should consider, but it's not just for gaming. By the way, are you watching the cutscenes yet? They use a lot of resources too, right? The processor, and especially the GPU, handle it easily thanks to those 128, well, in this case, 96 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM. But as I was saying, it's not just for gaming, but for instance, also for work. For photo and video editing and for running 3D applications, it's much more than enough. And also, in silent mode, you can watch movies, for example, without the fans turning on, or barely turning on, so it's pretty quiet. And honestly, this gives great versatility to this mini PC with tremendous power, a very compact design, and without a doubt, it great looks. Let's discuss the price. How much is the Bosgame M5? You can see that the version I'm using with 96 gigabytes of RAM used to cost 2,166 euros, and now it costs 1,290.95 euros. The 128 gigabytes version is available for 1,594.95 euros. I'll put the link in the video description below, along with this AMD configuration, a Ryzen Max Plus 395, so trendy nowadays. It's one of the cheapest mini PCs you can find nowadays, and without a doubt, more powerful and very well cooled. My conclusion about the Bosgame M5 mini PC is that its power in such a compact size has overwhelmed me. Thanks to AMD and this configuration, I actually think it's going to make a lot to talk about, not just in mini PCs, but also in handheld consoles. Let's just say what I'm showing you in this video is a glimpse of the future. It could be an alternative to the PlayStation 5 or Xbox, but with Windows 11 Pro, you can install any operating system you want. Anyway, if you have something to say, leave it in the comments below. I love reading them. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a like so I can keep bringing devices like this. Something that my younger self from not so many years ago couldn't even have dreamed of. Watch this technology, it'll be widely discussed. And now I'll see you in the next video. Take care and see you soon.